敬礼。ボリバル国民警備隊教官ドーベルマンだ。早速だが担当直入に行こう。
Hi everyone, welcome to the new series Operator Recruit Review with Dobermann. In this series, I'll be reviewing banners that will come to the game, including the standard banners. In today's video, we'll be reviewing the joint banner too. So to start with the series, I'll be quickly reviewing the operators that will be featured in the banner. Unlike my spotlights, I'm going to explain the featured operators quickly on the strong points, along with their pros and cons. At the end of the review, I'll be giving you my personal opinion regarding to the banner, whether you should pull or not. Remember, this is a review, so it has to include my opinion, which means most part of this video will be quite subjective. However, I'll do my best to keep it as objective as I possibly can. So before we start, I'll be skipping all the 5 stars because all of them are not worth investing aside of Neural and Grace Road. Of course, in terms of power, Executor can be one of them, but if we're talking about consistency in terms of general gameplay, then only Neural and Grace Road are the ones that I find worth investing. It's just in my opinion. Okay, so let's start with the first operator on the list. We have the unmitigated guard, Hellagur.
怠慢はいかん。ロドスにいる時も常に警戒を怠るな。
Hellagur specializes in 1v1. He cannot get killed, but since he can sustain himself, you shouldn't worry much about his survival, especially his DPS spike when he is on low HP. He is very useful on contingency contract, and that includes the current contingency contract we have right now. The bad side is that he can withstand the heavy damage, and his DPS shows very well when he is at low HP, which can be very risky sometimes. You also might find other operators better on normal operations outside of contingency contract. If you're aiming for him, I highly recommend investing on his second skill. Next up, we have the AoE caster, Mostima.
ここなら私が先導しよう。
aka also known as Blue Exusiai. Mostima specializes in AoE damage and also crowd control. Not only that, she is also an SP battery like Tilopsis, but only applicable to casters. She can be said as a caster that is trying to become a slow supporter and a specialist at the same time. Her talent provides slow to enemies, and her second skill provides 7-second stun, and her third skill provides push to enemies. Not to mention, all her skills are pretty good in terms of damage. The bad side, however, is that her skills have very long cooldown, and the skill duration does not really justify the long cooldown. Because of this, her DPS is not that impressive, although justified with her second talent as she slows down enemies. But again, while having slow from talent is nice, you can gain stronger slow with Manticore, who is relatively cheaper to build. If you're aiming for her, I highly recommend her second skill. Third operator we have right now is the AoE guard Blaze.
教習オペレーターの基準は厳しいよ。私の動きについてきて。
Blaze specializes in causing damage to multiple enemies equal to her block count, hence the archetype name. By now, she is probably one of the most stable operator in the game due to the causing high damage to multiple enemies at once, while also become tanky at the same time, making her very versatile. Good thing about Blaze is that all her skills are worth investing, as you can go healthy drop on her first skill, consistent damage on her second skill, and burst damage on her third skill. Her first talent allows her to become immortal, and her second talent allows her to gain resist buff, which is kinda niche, but still useful for herself if the enemies have stun. There's no bad thing about Blaze other than her second skill requires some time before it can deal massive damage to enemies. If you're aiming for her, I recommend prioritizing her second skill. Lastly, we have the healing defender Saria.
お前の采配に対しては私にも意見する権利がある。
Saria specializes in AoE healing, SP recovery, and also increased arts damage dealt to enemies. Like Blaze, Saria is probably one of the staple operators in the game. While healing defenders in general are quite on lower side with their stats, Saria's talent compensates that by increasing her attack and defense over time up to 5 stacks, which is great to increase her healing and her survivability. Like mentioned, her healing also recovers SP, which is very helpful to help your allies activate their skills. I personally don't think she has any weakness in her, and the reason I say that is because most healing defenders are not that great on holding down enemies compared with normal defenders. However, Saria compensates that with her talent, which makes her more viable to hold down enemies. If you're aiming for her, all her skills are definitely worth investing, but prioritize her second skill first.
この程度で止まると思う。
I think compared with the previous joint banner, I feel like this one is slightly on the 50-50 because 2 of the featured 6 stars are definitely game changers, yet the other 2 are quite niche on general battle. The 5-star operators provided by the banner are also not the most appealing 5-star either if we're talking about the meta perspective. Do I recommend pulling on this banner? Well, if you already have placed in Saria, I don't really recommend pulling unless you're D1 summon in the banner. But if you don't have either of the 2, then I'd say go for it. In joint banner, only featured operators of that rarity will appear, so there's no such thing as off-banner pulls on 5-star and 6 stars. Because of this, your chance of getting the operator you want increase quite significantly, so of course, pulling on this banner is definitely worth a shot. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button because it will help my channel a lot. Be sure to also hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on my new videos I post every single week. As always, thank you to my supporters. If you want to support me, you can join the Patreon or donate at PayPal or Coffee, the link is in the description down below. Thanks for your support and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks everyone, peace out.